Captain Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of the Solar Research Station Helios, her dark eyes fixed on the strange data patterns flowing across the holographic display. After 15 years of monitoring solar activity, she had never seen anything like this. The sun's outer layers were showing microscopic fluctuations in energy output, too precise to be natural, too subtle to be noticed by standard monitoring equipment. "Dr. Reynolds, are you seeing this?" she called out, her voice steady despite the growing unease in her chest. The station's chief physicist approached, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic readings. "The pattern's mathematical precision is impossible for natural phenomena," he confirmed, adjusting his wire-rimmed glasses. "These energy variations, they're like fingerprints." Sarah had spent her career preparing for first contact, but not like this. The disturbances had begun 3 months ago, tiny discrepancies in the sun's output that most would dismiss as measurement errors. But Sarah had developed the most sensitive solar monitoring system in human history, and she knew better. "It's a survey," she whispered, the realization hitting her like a physical force. "They're testing our star's composition." The Helios station's crew of 12 had maintained absolute secrecy about their discoveries, even from Earth's Defense Council. They needed to be certain. Now, after months of data collection and analysis, Sarah could no longer deny the implications. She accessed the quantum-encrypted communication channel to Earth Defense Headquarters. "This is Captain Chen requesting emergency conference with Admiral Hayes. Priority Alpha." The response came quickly. "Captain, the Admiral is in a security briefing." "Can this wait?" "Negative. Control. We have confirmation of Class 1 civilization activity within our solar system. Authentication code Chen 7749 Delta." Silence filled the channel for several seconds. "Stand by, Captain." Within minutes, Sarah found herself facing the holographic projection of Admiral Hayes and the Earth Defense Council. She had prepared for this moment, but the weight of responsibility pressed down on her shoulders like a physical force. "Distinguished council members," she began, her voice clear and controlled. 3 months ago, we detected anomalous energy patterns in the sun's outer layers. After extensive analysis, we can confirm these patterns are artificial in nature. Someone is studying our star, and they're trying to hide it." The council chamber erupted in murmurs. Admiral Hayes leaned forward, his holographic form flickering slightly. "Captain Chen, are you suggesting alien surveillance?" "Not suggesting, sir. Confirming." Sarah transmitted the data packages. These energy signatures matched theoretical patterns for advanced stellar energy extraction. Whoever they are, they're not just studying our sun. They're assessing it as a resource. The implications hung heavy in the air. Humanity had theorized about Type Ia civilizations capable of harnessing entire stars for energy, but encountering one was different. If they viewed stars as resources, Earth's sun would be just another power source to them. "We need to accelerate the Starfall Defense Initiative," Sarah continued. "The patterns suggest they're in the final stages of their survey. Based on the data progression, we have maybe 6 months before." The station's proximity alerts suddenly blared to life. Sarah's heart stopped as she saw the readings. "Council members, we have multiple objects dropping out of FTL travel at the edge of the solar system. Energy signatures are massive. Through the observation windows, pinpoints of light began to appear, like new stars being born. But Sarah knew better. They were ships. Dozens, then hundreds of them. Their hulls absorbing light rather than reflecting it. "They're early," she breathed, watching humanity's greatest nightmare unfold before her eyes. "Council, we need to implement the Starfall protocols now. The Nexari are here." Admiral Hayes' face hardened with resolve. "Captain Chen, you've done your duty. Get your crew to the emergency shuttles. We're activating all defense forces." As Sarah rushed to evacuate her team, she caught one last glimpse of the alien fleet through the station's windows. Their ships were beautiful in a terrifying way, like black holes given form, drinking in the light of the stars around them. Humanity had prepared for this moment since they first looked up at the stars and wondered if they were alone. Now, in the face of an advanced civilization that saw their sun as nothing more than fuel, all their preparations would be tested. The battle for Earth's survival was about to begin. Admiral Marcus Torres stood on the bridge of the EDF Hyperion, Earth's most advanced battleship, watching the tactical display with intense focus. The Nexari fleet had spread across the solar system in a formation that defied conventional military strategy. Their ships arranged in what looked like a three-dimensional spiral, slowly rotating around an axis that pointed directly at the sun. Energy readings from the enemy fleet are off the charts, Lieutenant Jessica Wong reported from her station. They're not even trying to mask their power signatures anymore. Marcus nodded grimly. The Nexari's confidence was well-founded. Their technology was centuries beyond Earth's, their ships capable of manipulating gravitational fields as easily as humans might turn a steering wheel. But humanity had one advantage. They were fighting for survival, not resources. "Status of Operation Solar Dance?" he asked, using the code name for their desperate gambit. "All ships in position, Admiral. The lunar defense grid is charged to maximum capacity, and the Mercury solar arrays are ready for energy redirection." The plan was audacious, perhaps even insane, but conventional warfare against the Nexari would be suicide. They needed to think differently, to use the very environment the aliens sought to exploit against them. "Send the signal to Captain Chen's team," Marcus ordered. Sarah Chen had survived the attack on the Helios station, and now she led a crucial part of their counteroffensive. "Tell them they have green light for Phase 1. The battle began with a feint. Earth's defense fleet, nearly 1,000 ships strong, arranged themselves in standard combat formation. It was what the Nexari would expect, a primitive species preparing for their last stand. The alien fleet responded predictably, their spiral formation unwinding like a deadly flower blooming in space. Their first attack was subtle, a wave of gravitational distortion that would have torn apart any ships caught in its path. But the Earth fleet was ready. "Now," Marcus commanded. In perfect synchronization, the Earth fleet split apart, their formation dissolving into apparent chaos. But there was precise calculation behind every movement. Each ship activated its experimental stellar gravity drives, creating a complex web of gravitational fields that mimicked the sun's natural frequencies. The Nexari's attack passed harmlessly through the gaps, their gravitational weapon disrupted by the interference patterns created by Earth's ships. For the first time since their arrival, the alien fleet showed signs of confusion. "They're recalculating," Jessica announced. "Their formation is shifting to compensate." Marcus allowed himself a small smile. "Execute Phase 2. The lunar defense grid activated, releasing a concentrated burst of solar energy that had been secretly accumulated over the past month. Simultaneously, the Mercury arrays redirected the sun's natural output, creating a massive surge of power that caught the Nexari ships in a crossfire of raw stellar energy. Several alien vessels were caught off guard, their energy-absorbing systems overwhelmed by the sudden influx. They broke formation, their perfect spiral disrupting as they attempted to adapt to this unexpected strategy. "Direct hit on multiple targets," Jessica reported, excitement creeping into her professional tone. "We're registering power fluctuations in their fleet." But the Nexari weren't defeated. They were adapting. Their ships began to merge, combining into larger vessels that could handle the increased energy flow. The spiral formation transformed into something new, a geometric pattern that seemed to bend space itself around their fleet. "Admiral," Jessica's voice was tense now. "They're channeling the excess energy directly into their weapon systems." Marcus watched as new energy signatures bloomed across his tactical display. The Nexari weren't just absorbing their attack. They were preparing to turn it against them. "All ships, execute Emergency Protocol Omega," he commanded. "Scatter to designated coordinates. Activate solar shields." The Earth fleet dispersed just as the Nexari launched their counterattack. Beams of concentrated solar plasma, far more powerful than anything humanity had ever wielded, cut through the space where their ships had been moments before. "Status report," Marcus demanded, gripping his command chair as the Hyperion shuddered from a near miss. 87% of the fleet made it to safe coordinates, Jessica responded. "We're registering minimal casualties. But, sir, the Nexari are advancing on Mercury. They're going to destroy the solar arrays." Marcus watched the tactical display, his mind racing. The loss of the Mercury arrays would cripple their ability to manipulate solar energy. But maybe that's exactly what they needed. "Contact Captain Chen," he ordered. "Tell her to begin Phase 3 ahead of schedule. And get me a direct line to Dr. Maya Patel at the Neptune Research Station. It's time to show these aliens that humanity has more than one trick up our sleeve." As the orders went out, Marcus studied the evolving battle. They had surprised the Nexari once, proving that humanity wasn't as primitive as they had assumed. But this was just the beginning. The real test would come when Captain Chen's team launched their infiltration mission, a desperate gamble that would take them into the heart of the alien fleet itself. Lieutenant James "Ghost" O'Neill checked his stealth suit's systems one final time as the infiltration shuttle drifted silently through space. Beside him, Captain Sarah Chen and 3 other elite operatives did the same. Their vessel, hardly larger than a cargo container, was powered down to minimal life support, riding the gravitational waves created by the ongoing battle like a leaf in a stream. 2 minutes to contact," Sarah whispered, though there was no need for silence in space. The team's neural communicators would work just fine, but some habits died hard. "Remember, we only get one shot at this." Their shuttle was approaching one of the smaller Nexari vessels that had been damaged in Admiral Torres's solar energy attack. Intelligence suggested it was a support ship, less heavily defended than the others. More importantly, it was their best chance to understand the aliens' technology. The shuttle's passive sensors detected the Nexari ship's energy field, a complex matrix of gravitational distortions that would tear apart any vessel that approached normally. But Sarah's research had revealed a pattern in the chaos, a rhythm they could exploit. "Initiating approach sequence," James announced, his hands dancing over the holographic controls. The shuttle began to pulse its own minimal gravitational field, matching the frequency of the Nexari ship's defenses. Like matching the swing of a jump rope, they needed perfect timing to slip through. Sarah had explained the science behind it, something about harmonic resonance and phase matching, but James focused on the practical aspects. He'd spent countless hours in simulation, practicing this exact maneuver. Now it was time to prove it could work in reality. The shuttle slipped through the outer layer of the alien ship's defenses. Warning indicators flashed as exotic energy readings spiked around them, but their carefully tuned gravitational field held. They were in. "Primary hull breach detected," one of the team members reported. "Just as the scans predicted. Looks like Admiral Torres's attack did more damage than we thought." The shuttle eased into the breach, a jagged tear in the otherworldly metal of the Nexari ship. As they passed through, James noticed how the alien hull seemed to ripple and flow, as if trying to repair itself. "Quick and quiet," Sarah ordered as they docked. "We have 20 minutes before they detect the gravitational anomaly." The team moved with practiced precision, their stealth suits adapting to match the electromagnetic signature of the alien ship. The interior was unlike anything they had trained for. Corridors that seemed to bend in impossible ways, surfaces that pulsed with internal energy. "This way," Sarah indicated, following readings on her specialized scanner. "The energy core should be 2 levels down." They encountered no Nexari on their way. Either the ship was more damaged than they thought, or the aliens didn't maintain crews the way humans did. The lack of resistance was unsettling rather than reassuring. The energy core was a sight that defied explanation. A sphere of what appeared to be liquid starlight, suspended in a geometric framework of dark metal. Streams of energy flowed in and out of it in patterns that hurt the eyes to look at. "Beginning data collection," Sarah announced, connecting her specialized equipment to what they hoped was a data access point. Ghost, keep watch. Something doesn't feel right. James nodded, his enhanced senses on high alert. The ship felt too empty, too quiet. In his experience, when something seemed too easy, it usually meant you were walking into a trap. His instincts proved correct. The first sign was subtle, a slight change in the energy patterns flowing through the walls. Then the gravity shifted, becoming erratic. "They know we're here," he warned. "Chen, what's your status?" 60% complete, she replied, her voice tense but controlled. "I need 3 more minutes." The ship's internal structure began to change around them, corridors shifting and sealing. The Nexari vessel wasn't just repairing itself, it was actively trying to trap them. 2 hostile contacts approaching, one of the team reported. Energy signatures unlike anything in our database. James positioned himself between the approaching threats and Sarah. Through his enhanced vision, he saw them, Nexari in their true form. They moved like liquid mercury given life, their bodies constantly shifting and reforming. No wonder their ships could repair themselves. "Chen, we're out of time," he called as he activated his weapon. A prototype designed specifically for this mission. It generated a localized field of chaotic gravitational waves, the exact opposite of the ordered patterns the Nexari seemed to rely on. The effect was immediate. The approaching aliens recoiled, their fluid forms destabilizing. But the ship itself responded, the very walls beginning to pulse with dangerous energy. "Got it," Sarah announced. "Fall back to the shuttle. Move." The team retreated through rapidly changing corridors, relying on their mapped route and James's disruptor to clear a path. Behind them, the ship's structure was collapsing in on itself, trying to crush them. They reached the shuttle just as the hull breach they had used for entry began to seal. James lay down covering fire with the disruptor while the team boarded. The alien metal froze and shattered where his chaotic gravitational waves hit it, buying them precious seconds. "Go, go, go," he shouted as he jumped aboard. The shuttle's engines flared to life, pushing them through the closing breach. They barely cleared the ship's defensive field before it fully reactivated. "Did we get what we needed?" James asked as they sped away, their shuttle's stealth systems masking their escape. Sarah was already analyzing the stolen data, more than we hoped for. "We now know how their ships work, how they harvest stellar energy." She looked up, a grim smile on her face. "And most importantly, we know their weakness. Get me a channel to Admiral Torres. It's time for Dr. Patel to activate the Neptune protocol." Dr. Maya Patel stood before the massive quantum computer array in Neptune Research Station, her fingers flying over holographic controls as she processed the data from Captain Chen's infiltration team. Around her, the station's crystalline windows revealed Neptune's swirling storms, but her attention was focused entirely on the patterns emerging from the alien code. "This is incredible," she muttered, her augmented reality display highlighting key sequences in the data. "They don't just harvest stellar energy, they encode it. Their entire technology is based on quantum gravitational programming." The discovery confirmed her theories about the ancient structures they'd found buried in Neptune's largest moon, Triton. What everyone had assumed were natural formations were actually dormant machines, a defense system left behind by someone who had encountered the Nexari before. "Dr. Patel." Admiral Torres' hologram appeared beside her workstation. "Captain Chen's team paid a heavy price for that data. Please tell me it was worth it." Maya nodded, her dark eyes bright with excitement despite her exhaustion. "The Nexari's power comes from their ability to manipulate space-time at the quantum level. But it's also their weakness. Their technology requires perfect harmony, structured patterns in gravity itself. If we can disrupt those patterns across a large enough area, we can shut them down." Torres finished. "But do we have anything capable of generating that kind of disruption?" Maya gestured to the massive windows, where Neptune's storms raged eternally. "We don't need to generate it. We just need to amplify what's already here. The gas giants, Jupiter and Neptune especially, They're natural generators of gravitational chaos. The ancient defense system was designed to harness that chaos. An alarm blared through the station. Lieutenant Wang's voice came through the emergency channel. "Admiral, the Nexeri fleet is changing formation. They're combining their ships, forming something massive." The tactical display showed the alien fleet merging into a colossal structure, a geometric pattern that seemed to fold space around itself. At its center, a void began to form, a direct channel to the sun's core. They're not just trying to harvest energy anymore, Maya realized, horror dawning in her eyes. They're going to collapse the sun into a controlled quantum state. They'll drain it completely. "How long?" Torres demanded. "At the rate they're working, hours at most. Once the process begins, we won't be able to stop it." Torres's hologram turned to face the station's main viewport. "Then we activate the Neptune protocol now, whatever the risks." Maya took a deep breath. They had only partially decoded the ancient system's control mechanisms. Activating it without full understanding could be catastrophic. But they were out of options. "Beginning activation sequence," she announced, her hands moving across multiple holographic interfaces, transferring power to the Triton arrays. Deep beneath Triton's frozen surface, ancient machinery hummed to life. Structures that had lain dormant for millennia began to pulse with energy, tapping into Neptune's gravitational field. The gas giant's storms responded, swirling with increasing intensity. "Energy spike detected in the Nexeri fleet," Wang reported. "They've noticed something's happening. They're redirecting ships to our position." Maya worked faster, her augmented reality display filling with warnings as the ancient system drew more power. Neptune's storms were growing stronger, creating gravitational waves that rippled through space. "First wave approaching," Torres warned. "Our fleet will try to buy you time, but against their combined form." "Almost there," Maya assured him, though her voice shook slightly. The station trembled as the first gravitational distortions reached them. "The system is at 60% capacity. We need at least 85 for full coverage of the solar system." Through the windows, she could see the Nexeri ships approaching, sleek forms of impossible geometry, warping space around them. The combined fleet's quantum channel was growing, its void-like maw preparing to devour their sun. 70%, Maya reported. The station's structural integrity alerts were screaming now as Neptune's enhanced storms battered them with waves of gravitational force. "Admiral, we're losing structural cohesion. The station wasn't designed to handle this level of distortion. Can you complete the activation from the evacuation shuttles?" Maya shook her head. "The final sequence requires direct neural interface. I have to stay." Torres's hologram nodded grimly. "All non-essential personnel, evacuate immediately." "Dr. Patel, it's been an honor." Maya managed a small smile as she connected her neural implants to the ancient system. Around her, the station groaned and twisted as space itself began to warp. Through her enhanced senses, she could feel the vast machinery beneath Triton's surface, its power building to impossible levels. 80%, she whispered as the first Nexeri weapons fire reached them. The station's shields were failing, its structure beginning to break apart. But through her neural connection, Maya could see something else. Patterns in the chaos, a hidden order that the ancient builders had discovered. She understood now. The Neptune protocol wasn't just a weapon. It was a key designed to unlock something far more powerful than mere gravitational disruption. As her consciousness merged with the ancient system, Maya Patel prepared to unleash a force that would either save humanity or tear the solar system apart. The solar system became a battlefield of impossible forces. As Dr. Maya Patel's consciousness merged with the ancient defense system, Neptune's storms coalesced into a vast web of gravitational chaos that spread outward through space. The Nexeri's perfect geometric formations began to waver, their quantum gravitational technology struggling against the rising tide of disorder. Admiral Torres watched from the bridge of the Hyperion, as reality itself seemed to bend and twist. All ships maintain distance from the gravity wave fronts. Let the Neptune protocol do its work. Through her neural interface, Maya could see everything. Every ship, every energy pattern, every quantum fluctuation across the solar system. The ancient builders had created something far more sophisticated than a simple weapon. They had found a way to access the fundamental forces that shaped space-time itself. The Nexari are adapting, Lieutenant Wong reported, her voice tense. Their combined form is generating some kind of quantum shield. Indeed, the massive alien structure was reorganizing itself, creating layers of ordered space that pushed back against Neptune's chaos. The void at its center continued to grow, reaching hungry tendrils toward the sun. In the depths of space, Captain Sarah Chen's voice came through the command channel. Admiral, Ghost's team has analyzed the Nexari's shield harmonics. There's a pattern to their adaptation, if we time our attacks precisely. Do it, Taurus commanded. All ships prepare to fire on Chen's markers. The Earth fleet moved into position, their weapons charged with solar energy from the remnants of the Mercury arrays. Sarah's analysis of the alien technology had revealed the precise frequencies needed to disrupt their quantum shields. Time seemed to slow as Maya directed the Neptune protocol through its final stage of activation. Through her enhanced perception, she could see the truth about the Nexari. They weren't just aliens, they were survivors of a dying universe, crossing between realities to harvest the energy they needed to survive. Their perfect order was a shield against the entropy that had consumed their own space-time. Now, Sarah's voice rang out. The Earth fleet fired as one, their weapons synchronized to match the frequencies Sarah had discovered. At the same time, Maya released the full power of the Neptune protocol. The ancient machinery beneath Triton's surface pulsed with energy that defied comprehension. Space itself shuddered. The Nexari's quantum shields began to fracture as ordered and chaotic energy collided in a spectacular display of light and gravity. Their combined forms started to break apart, individual ships trying to separate and escape the spreading disruption. But something unexpected happened. As Maya guided the ancient system's power, she found she could do more than just disrupt the Nexari's technology. She could communicate with it, reach into the quantum fabric of their ships, and rid the patterns encoded there. They're not just attacking. She broadcast through the fleet's command channel, her voice strained with the effort of maintaining the neural interface. They're desperate. Their universe is dying. They've been searching for a way to survive. Admiral Torres received the transmission with a grim expression. That doesn't give them the right to destroy ours. No, Maya agreed, but maybe we can offer them something else. Through her connection to the ancient system, Maya began to rewrite the quantum patterns around them. Instead of merely disrupting the Nexari's orderly spacetime, she started to weave a new pattern, one that combined their order with the creative chaos of Neptune's storms. What's happening? Lieutenant Wong asked in awe as new forms of energy began to dance across her sensors. The Nexari ships stopped their retreat. Their combined consciousness, finally able to comprehend the patterns Maya was creating, recognized something revolutionary. A way to harvest energy not by consuming stars, but by tapping into the quantum chaos that existed in the space between ordered systems. They're responding, Sarah reported. Their attack formation is dissolving. The void reaching for the sun began to close as the Nexari fleet reorganized itself. Their ships, still geometric but now incorporating patterns of controlled chaos, moved into a new configuration. A signal, encoded in quantum fluctuations, reached the Earth fleet. They're requesting direct communication, Maya announced, her consciousness still bridging the gap between human and alien understanding. They want to learn. Admiral Torres straightened in his command chair. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged not just surviving, but offering their would-be destroyers a new path forward. Open a channel, he ordered. As the solar system settled into an uneasy peace, Maya felt the ancient builders' final message emerging from the depths of the Neptune protocol. They had faced the same choice: destruction or cooperation, entropy or evolution. Their gift wasn't just a weapon, but a key to understanding the balance between order and chaos, between survival and growth. The sun continued to shine, its energy now flowing through new patterns that powered both human and Nexari technology. In finding a way to save their own world, humanity had unknowingly created a solution that could save two universes. James Ghost O'Neill, watching from his ship's viewport as Nexari vessels began peaceful approaches to Earth's fleet, smiled slightly. Think they'll let us study some of their technology now? Sarah Chen, standing beside him, nodded. They'll have to. We've got plenty to teach them too. In the Neptune research station, as Maya finally disconnected from the ancient system, she understood that this wasn't an ending, but a beginning. Humanity had proved itself ready not just for survival, but for its next great leap forward, becoming teachers to beings who had crossed universes in search of hope. The end.